is having to deal with those issues. It's a tax on all of you. But what we also know is that we are sending $800 million a day to some of the most hostile nations on earth. We are funding both sides of the war on terrorism. And that doesn't make any sense. But not only that, we are also, because of our reliance on fossil fuels, creating a situation in which we know that climate change is going to have an impact that will affect Malia and Sasha and the children of everybody in here. That the polar ice caps are melting, and it's time to take a serious look at how we can reverse that. We know that. So, but again, here's the thing. The problems are not technical in nature. We know that we could increase fuel efficiency standards. We've done it before. During the 70s, the last time we had an energy crisis, we doubled fuel efficiency standards and it didn't hurt our economy. And yet we haven't done anything since 1985, 1986. So why wouldn't we increase fuel efficiency standards right here and right now? And while we're at it, why wouldn't we create biofuels that could be homegrown right here in America? Farmers in Illinois and farmers in Iowa creating the kind of energy that we need. We can do that. And there is no reason why we can't create more efficient buildings. And each and every one of us can think about how we can save energy. And if we do that, then not only will our economy be stronger, but we will be more secure. The reason we're not doing it is not because we don't have the answers. The reason is because we haven't crafted the political consensus to get it done. We know that every young person here, and one of the wonderful things that I'm seeing is young people all throughout this area. And we know that those young people are going to have to compete not just against young people in Texas or in California or Florida. They now have to compete against young people in Bangalore, India, and Beijing, in China. Which means that they've got to be prepared for science and math and take the new technologies that are going to drive the 21st century economy. And if that's the case, why is our school still organized around the agricultural era? And why is it that our teachers are still some of the most one of the underpaid professions in America? And we know what works. We know that if we invest in early childhood education, then our young people are no longer behind the first day they go to school. We know that. We know that if we pay teachers more and give them more flexibility, we can also ask more accountability from teachers. They want to work with us to make sure that every child learns. We know that there's no reason why every young person, once they've put in the work to qualify for college, should not be able to finance a college education. That we are not doing it is not because we don't know what works, it's because we haven't decided that we care about this thing so much that right here, right now, we are going to make sure that we've got a first-class, world-class education for every child in America. And I mean that because they feel a sense of urgency about a war that should have never been authorized and a war that should have never been fought. I'm proud of the fact that I was against the war from the start. And I'm proud of the fact that over the course of the 2 years I've been consistent and constant in my message, which is that having gone in, we made a tragic mistake. $400 billion that could have been spent on the south side of Chicago, on the west side of Chicago, economy's working. We could have built new schools and new hospitals and new roads right here in Illinois. But what I also know is that having gone in, we have a responsibility to be as careful coming out as we work this. And so what I've done throughout this process is to say that although we have national security interests in the Middle East that we have to think about, and we have humanitarian concerns in Iraq, we don't want the bloodbath getting worse than it is. But what I have also said is that the time has come for us to end this engagement in Iraq, that we have